The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Virtuosos. It is your new host, Damon Crittenden.
Jules Houston, switch seats for a week, see how it goes.
And Damian Jolly's still where he stays at.
He lying, y'all. Listen, y'all. He wasn't fit to lead. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't fit to lead. So, welcome back, guys. I just want to say before we start, appreciate the support that's going on via social media. You guys are, sharing our messages, sharing our videos, and we appreciate that. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So, I want to start off. Drake just dropped the album. I personally think it was a solid album. And we have the biggest Drake fan that I know, biggest High School Musical fan that I know. He just loved music. So, Dame, go ahead. Talk about the experience you had at the Drake concert.
All right. So, this past weekend on Saturday, I took myself and my sister to the Drake concert in Toronto. Last stop of his tour. And, man, he knows how to put on a show. Obviously, you expect that. This is, his final stop of his tour in his hometown, back-to-back nights. Started off a little slow at first. He brought out his opener is some British rapper, so it's kind of
You want to be fake British sometimes.
I was like, all right, I guess. I mean, people in the crowd seem to love him. I never heard of him. I was like, all right, I guess, that's cool. He brought out Sexy Red. Then that's when the whole crowd got real weird. I was like, all right, y'all some fans. My sister was going crazy, so she clearly is a fan. Around 9:45, and we were also with Skylar in Sydney. So that was really cool too. We were literally outside the stadium at 5 o'clock, but we was in line for 2.5 hours waiting to get in. The lines were crazy, bro. I mean, there was people there at 10 o'clock in the morning trying to get tickets. The box office said they weren't selling tickets.
Yeah, totally.
And they was there at 10 in the morning trying to get tickets. They were there all day, bro. The line was wrapped damn near around the street. I was like, you guys aren't getting tickets. You're wasting your time.
Yeah, that rate, I'm having a concert at my crib.
No, seriously.
I don't know if I'm going to go see him.
You can go play Drake at home and get a better experience.
No, honestly.
So, he came on stage at 9:45. I got a bunch of really cool pictures and videos. He kind of walked out. He said a poem to Toronto, which was really cool. And then just throughout the show, the visuals, the stuff he was doing, he gave out $10,000 to a fan because she rapped the whole verse with him. He gave out a G-Wagon. Him and Mercedes teamed up and gave out a G-Wagon. He gave out 3 Chanel bags in the thing. So, and then, as the show continues to go on, he's like, I got to take a break for a minute. He comes on. Nelly Furtado's there in the VIP section. Super cool. They give her a whole bunch of screen time. And then we get to the big part of the show for the first time where he's like, I didn't want to let y'all down. 21 Savage couldn't be here, so I had to call my boy up and see if he can come out. J. Cole comes out. Down the same place, J. Cole comes out, performs for a good 30, 45 minutes. Some big songs. Him and Drake perform a song together. Then it gets quiet again. And all of a sudden, he's like, this British guy comes out with this piece of paper. And he reads off basically 21 Savage's real name saying he's been pardoned. 21 Savage comes out, which is his first time ever performing outside of the U.S. So, we basically got a double whammy. We got to see Drake, J. Cole, 21 Savage all in one night. Which was super, super cool. Like I said, seeing 21 Savage, he has not performed anywhere outside the U.S. yet. So, nobody expected to see him being in Canada. So, that ended up being really, really cool. And then, yeah, man, it was just awesome. They had a whole, Scotiabank was completely transformed into the OVO arena. So, it was literally just all OVO stuff, all black and gold everywhere outside the stadium. It was really cool. It was really worth it, man, honestly. Drake went crazy. He really, really showed out. The props he used during the show, he's got the big inflatables. He had the Virgil Abloh inflatable out there. There was, a Peter Pan one that he was doing. They had, the hologram with the kid Drake. I mean, he put on a crazy show, man. And it just shows you could just tell he really appreciated it. He's hugging all his people, the security guards, and the people that work in the stadium. It was just really cool to see that. He kept calling himself a humble man, which he was dragging. I'm not gonna call himself a humble man 16 times.
Hold on, this is how we catch him right here. So, did you ask him to be on the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
I did.
He must got other commitments. That's all.
But then he was he's like, see, I got other stuff I gotta handle. He's like, I got to drink because I've been on tour for so long.
If it was that Bobby girl,
exactly. He would have given Bobby Atloff and he would have gave her an interview.
We call him. It's cool.
It's cool. He won't regret it when we big.
He gonna regret that one for sure.
No, but it was definitely worth the money. Definitely worth the drive. I mean, it's only a 2-hour drive, but that traffic was a little crazy. But yeah, man, Drake put on a hell of a show, and I was really happy to be a part of it.
Okay.
So both of y'all, real quick. If you had to rap one Drake verse, like for that 10,000, which one y'all picking?
Goodness.
I might
That-
start.
That lime green line, man.
Yeah, no. So we had to speak
that's
on
the
this,
line.
man. We had JH2 in the 2K runs the other day. Shout
know
out
the name.
JH2.
Know the name, man.
And wow, man, he was like, yeah, that new Drake album got some crazy bars. Said the worst bars on the album.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was clowning or not.
Yo,
Shout out you, man.
I gave him 2 opportunities of his life, and he went over 2. So you
but-
know,
and
it's nothing I could do for him. You know, I gave him the platform. I gave him the.
And it's
everything.
really sad because, like I said, the Drake album really wasn't bad. Like, I mean, it wasn't anything like spectacular, but it was definitely a good enough album. And he really said the worst bars on there. Something about lime green text messages.
with an
and some other
Android, like
stuff.
clearly the
Thought that
message is
one
gonna be
hit.
green.
Thought that
The
one hit.
Android.
And it kind of just set the tone for the night. So, you know, but yeah. I don't know, man. Drake verse to rap for $10,000. Ooh,
I don't know.
I like Drake. I can't think of like.
I better find your love. I better find your heart.
Yo, like, I don't
I
even
do.
know. son.
For
Like, you-
10K or a G wagon.
I'd be like, you my right hand, you my go-to.
I'm gonna start singing the motor. I've been dancing trying to probably get a lead.
I forget. They sang a popular song together too. It's like it was a newer one. I just can't think of what the name was. But
He asked me
she was going,
2020 and up.
but she was going crazy. They had the camera on her too, so like they put her on the spot. Like it was really like, you know, like he would go quiet, let her rap, and then he would do the ad libs. Bro, she went crazy.
I'd have
She
shit
prepared her
myself.
whole
How many
life.
people
for
was
that.
there?
Huh?
How many people was there?
There was 20,000. It was sold out stadium, 20,000 people.
I'd have been stuttering.
Yo, dude, and, like, the camera was like literally in her face, man. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that she was able to do it, like shout out her, she deserved that 10,000 because she went crazy.
I'd have been
If you
stuttering
told me to rap
crazy.
any verse ever, anyone I want to pick, I'm still mumbling some.
Yeah, bro, I swear.
So Dame, something just popped up with the actor strike.
Yes.
You want to speak on it?
It was actually pretty upsetting to see that this morning. Basically, long story short, the Actors Guild is going to stay on strike going forward. They got screwed over. The major studio CEOs are basically offering less now than they were before the strike even occurred. They aren't protecting them from AI stuff. So they were really showing pictures and shit of like Disney and Netflix and some of their cheaper movies that you could really see their AI in the background. Like they're not real actors in the background, just generated people. They look like 2K crowds in the wreck.
He's standing up.
You know, so they refuse to protect them from AI. They're not increasing their wages to keep up with inflation, and they won't. And so this would all cost 57% for 57 cents or 2% of studio revenue, and they refuse to pay it. So you know, we got the writers back, but the actors aren't coming back anytime soon. It seems like, and I don't know how long it's gonna last, but right now it feels like it's just at a standstill, which really, really sucks. Because you know, you get the writers back, you think, okay, things are gonna start moving forward,
And then
but
sit
without the
back
actors,
again.
what do you do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the actors bring in the people. And, you know, if you don't have the actors, then you can only go so far. And it just kind of sucks. I really feel for the actors because I felt like that things were going to move really quickly after the writers had agreed. But it feels like the studios just aren't feeling that at all. They're really, really obsessed with the money they're making. And they just don't want to move on it right now.
Yeah, man, that's a bummer. Now, me personally, any studio out there listening, you know, I can act.
This
You know, any scene you need me to do, you know, as long as the money good, you know.
You was not getting Miles Morales, bro. That's not.
Bro,
not
they
your
can
road,
hit me up
bro.
for Miles Morales, bro.
That's
Like,
not your road, bro.
bro, come on, bro. They can let me slide. You know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, you know, as soon as we get over the writer strike, actor strike, it's
And that really sucks too
It
because,
sucks,
you know, with
man.
Marvel, like, if they're already talking about Fantastic Four supposed to film as soon as the writer strike, as soon as the actor strike
Yeah,
ends.
that's what it
They
was.
already have plans to go film in London as soon as the strike ends. It's not ending. How much longer are things gonna keep getting pushed back before, you know, we start to think, okay, maybe we're not getting anything anytime soon.
And as much as, like, you know, the casual want to say, okay, we just wish everything could just fizzle out and be perfect. But we all know at the end of the day, like, as an actor, you know, we're not actors. They probably, you know, want protections and stuff like that. We're not in their shoes. So we can only hope that they get what they want and the studios get what they want or come to some sort of agreement. So,
Yeah, it's also that number thing though. It's not even about just the money. It's like with business, they be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna offer you 10%. I'm gonna offer you 9%. Like I should offer you 25%. I'm gonna offer you 24%. That split might be from 24 to 26%. And it's like, oh right, well that number makes it seem like you have more stake. Like you have more actual ownership of you and your everything that you're doing than we want to allow you. Like I know there's a thing where like if you do a partnership, that 51% is like huge. That's what people can't get over, like having that 51 compared to that 49.
Yeah,
you can't go 50-50. You just can't. Like, there's no way. So somebody has to get more. Somebody has to deal with more responsibility. So, I mean, I can't say it is what it is because it isn't. It doesn't have to be like this. They want it to be like this. So, unfortunately, like I said, we're in a standstill. A lot of big studios are suffering badly right now, and even if one studio wants to do it, it has to be a full-on agreement between all parties.
This actually really affects us too, as far as being Gen V fans.
Yes,
because they already said the boys won't drop their new season unless the actor strike ends. So I mean, as long as that's going on, we're gonna get Gen V's finish, and we're gonna get a follow-up with a boys season for who knows till
2026.
So I mean, that plays into a lot of this stuff that we're talking about. Even like I said, Marvel shows. If you want to pivot into that with what happened out the other day.
Yeah. So like most things are getting pushed back because of writer's strike. This is something that was already delayed, and rightfully so. It was 18 episode series, Daredevil Born Again, which is renewed by Disney Plus, come from Netflix. I'm a huge Daredevil fan, one of the best superhero shows I've ever watched. Not even close. Unfortunately, though, it's been an issue. All right, and it's been an issue between all Marvel shows because the writing sucks. The writing sucks. Why? Because they have this fascination on that. It has to be this huge, over the top kind of thing, and the first 4 episodes are very boring. Now, could have been boring to the fans, maybe, but what we heard was that Daredevil was not going to be in his Daredevil costume until episode 4. You can't have a Daredevil show without him being in costume, or at least having some type of action without maybe it's about 3 hours, of watch time before he actually gets into anything.
And then they were also going to kill Karen and Foggy, so they already
weren't
bringing kill off 2 important characters that people wanted back. They were going to kill them off to begin with, and I'm kind of just sick of Marvel making characters earn their suits.
Yeah.
They're superheroes. They don't need to earn their suits. Yeah. Daredevil's already worn his suit.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're literally taking it from Netflix, and it's already established, and we know he's Daredevil. He was in Spider-Man. How could you possibly, for any reason, try to make up an origin, though? Just let him out of suit. He has a suit. Now he has to make it. Now he got to go get it made. Like, you know what I'm saying? He actually had to go through those steps to get upgrades in his suit during Daredevil. But from what I remember, though, in that pilot episode, maybe in the second episode, it was a lot going on. A lot of street fighting, with the blindfolds over his eyes. I'm pretty sure in the second episode, we got the iconic hallway scene with him with the blindfold over his eyes. He's beating everybody up. That stuff like that. If I'm not, like, for me personally, if I'm not getting that 2.0 exactly the same way, then I don't want Daredevil. I don't want Daredevil Born Again. Bring him into certain cameo roles or whatever. Bring him into a movie. Don't do the show. If you're gonna do an 18 episode show, you need some action.
Yeah, 18 episodes.
I'm not gonna watch 4 episodes and then there's not be no action, and then there's no guarantee the action is gonna be good, because all street hero and street-esque, I guess, heroes that are like grounded, their action can be some of the best because it's going to be the most realistic, the most likely to happen, actually see that happen. When you got people flying around and stuff like that, can't really resonate with that. But if you see Daredevil fight hand-to-hand combat, you kind of understand, like, I know what a punch feel. I don't know what a mystic blast to the eyes feel like. You know what I'm saying? So people love street heroes, but this is upsetting, really, because how bad it is.
But you know what? I think it's for the best in the long run. They're going to do multiple seasons now. They don't want to do event series anymore. They don't want to do, here's a 6-episode season about a character that you've never heard of, and you're going to get that going forward. They're going to make these seasons longer. They're going to make them multiple seasons, which I think is better. That's what Loki's doing. Loki's been their most successful show so far.
And it's crazy because that was supposed to be like a series finale, and it turned into a season finale once you like play on a road.
And it's really smart. I think that they're doing that. They don't need to put everything in one season and force everything. And that's why they're doing these 6 episodes, and you feel like you're watching so much so fast.
Yep.
There's no development in the characters. And this isn't just an overhaul of Daredevil. They're overhauling all their shows going forward. This is a big thing. I saw something where like the Moon Knight director, like Jeremy Slater, or whatever, left during the middle of making Moon Knight. Like these guys weren't even staying with that.
Yeah, it was like he had a big interview.
Yeah, he
left. So like you're seeing like why some of these shows are so half-assed, half-baked, because
like
of the fact,
half-bad.
literally because they couldn't agree. I felt like they were really taking the creativity out of the writers' hands, saying, here, you have to do this.
Yeah.
And then they're making all their special effects people say, hey, listen, this didn't look good. Fix this all in post.
Yep.
And on top of that, no show should cost $150 million to make.
Yeah.
Not a 6-episode show.
Yeah, that's true.
Secret Invasion cost like $170-something million to make. It was their worst show yet.
Yep.
You don't have to do that. So, I saw that they said going forward, they're going to have real writers, real showrunners. They're going to direct pilots. No more just, hey, listen, you're gonna have this and start with it. Pilots are important. You need good first episodes. You need to drag people in, and especially with, like I said, those newer characters. Where, like I said, Daredevil's already had a show. We don't need that for Daredevil, but we needed that for Miss Marvel. We needed that for Moon Knight. We needed bigger episodes, more in depth details than what we got. She-Hulk was literally just thrown out there and was like, hey, listen, this is Hulk's cousin.
Yeah, it's Hulk cousin.
Yeah.
And Hulk already, don't get me started on Hulk.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But so I mean, that's really that's a big thing. And if Marvel's really going to commit to that going forward with the shows changing up, they realized that it wasn't working, and this is the second time they're revamping shows. So I mean, something has to hit the face. Something has to stick to the wall eventually.
Definitely. So over the last couple days, I want to say, probably last week or so, something we just want to touch on real quick here at the Virtuosos. UFC 294 had a main event and a co-main event change. The opponents were changed. It was originally Islam versus Charles Oliveira, and Charles Oliveira had a cut on his eyebrow. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's poor camp.
Biggest fight of your life coming up, next week, and you have, I don't know, you can spinning elbow. I don't know who you fighting, but
who are you sparring with?
Like, who are you sparring with to put a gash like that on your forehead? So he had to step out of the fight, and here comes Volkanovski. I honestly, like, a fight that big against one of the best fighters in the world, I'm shocked somebody stepped, and then out of all people, Volkanovski, already a champion, stepped up. And then our co-main event was Hazmat versus Paulo Costa, and I already knew that fight was going to happen. But then we get Kamaru Usman at middleweight, his debut at middleweight, which I can't say I expected, considering Israel Adesanya is his friend, but Israel, I don't know what his career trajectory is. So, Jules, if you want to touch on how you feel about the two main events being changed.
So from what I read, what I've seen and whatnot, first off, they kind of came to this agreement with Volkanovski where he wants to be a double champ. He wants to actually defend both titles, and it's only a 10-pound difference, so we get that. But his thing was that now he has nothing to lose for sure now, and it's all on Islam, which is true. But I do think this is in bad taste for the company trying to save a card this much to this extent. You don't want to waste Islam versus Volk rematch on a 10-day notice, and you got to get a whole different press conference. Obviously, Volk can make the weight because he's going up in weight, not down. So obviously, that's going to be whatever. That's not what I'm worried about. What I am worried about now is that DDP Duplessis, he was scheduled to fight Izzy. That was the goal. Now we got a title eliminator with Usman and Chimaev. Neither one. I should say Usman has 0 wins at middleweight. Chimaev has not fought at middleweight in 2 years. It makes no sense for this fight to be happening. For a title eliminator, this is bad on Dana. It's good for fans, but it's bad on Dana because now he's sliding DDP. Paulo Costa probably was never going to fight Chimaev. I honestly did not believe he was going to. I thought he was going to pull out weight issues, stuff like that. He wasn't supposed to be back in 185. Remember, he was not supposed to be at 185. He was being 205. That was the goal. He was supposed to go to 205. Now he's back at 185. It's a big old mess right now with this card. For fans, outside looking in, it looks great. But we had 2 guaranteed finishes probably going out to 2 decision fights, more likely. But for me, actually, I don't think that Usman and Chimaev will be a actual decision. But though Usman's a very safe fighter, he really hasn't had many finishes in his career, especially as he was holding the title. He was getting a lot of decision victories and just boring victories in general leading up to the title. So with that being said, though, it's cool to see when people do step up for the right reasons. Like, we seen Michael Bisping step up and he ended up getting a title. We've seen, guys like Chad Mendes step in to fight Conor, and he had one of the best showings of his career. He lost. It means something. Justin Gaethje stepped up on short notice against one of the boogeyman division, Tony Ferguson, and beat literally years off his career. So when stuff like that does happen, it is unfortunate. But I'm gonna be honest, this might be one of those situations where Volk steps up and he just ends up beating Islam. He clearly is confident.
He's confident. Yeah,
clearly confident about something.
Against one of the best fighters in the world, 10-day notice is insane. But
it actually is, really.
It really is, man. But that's going to wrap up our UFC. Now, we watch Loki here, live reactions with everybody, and there is a Easter egg. First of all, we want to apologize that we don't have the reaction to the post-credit scene.
Yeah, we suck.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, we suck.
We you know what I mean? Like, that's... that's on us. But there was an Easter egg.
It was a team call. We had the TV on.
Yeah,
You literally hear us say like, "We'll just cut it off," and they never.
Just cut it off. Bro. That's over, bro. That's over. And then literally we get a post-credit scene, and it answered our questions. It was just, it was bad. But it was a Easter egg that we did not touch on, and it was during the scene where what's his name, Ouroboros brings us into this room, and there is a X on the door.
Chill out,
come on, let's put 2 and 2 together now. X, you know.
Yes, that's Brian.
That's
Brian
behind the door. Come on, let's
Xavier Howard behind
together. So Dan, we can start with you. Did you do any research on the Easter egg? Do you think
that's what I'm looking at right now? And I mean, it just feels like a subtle Easter egg. I don't think it's gonna be like anything to do with the X-Men going forward. I think it's just like, hey, listen, you either notice this or you don't. Obviously, the X was big for all like the secret stuff underneath the Xavier's mansion in the original X-Men movies, where he had Cerebro, where they had like the jets and all that. I don't think it's gonna be anything insane going forward. But it is a cool thing. It's something if you're a fan, you notice. If you don't, you don't. There was some other like little Easter eggs here and there throughout the show. Casey, when he first runs into that Casey that's wearing the headphones, and he crashes the bus through the thing, he's listening to the same podcast that Moon Knight was listening to in the very first episode, which links the universes. Some people are saying that Loki's time slipping could link to Spider-Verse's glitching.
That's what I got out of that too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The same way the characters glitch in the movies is basically what Loki was doing with his time slipping. There were some other small ones. Where was it? I guess apparently the temporal loom connects to the character's Norse origins of Loki. I don't really understand how that was. I guess it's Yggdrasil, which is the world tree. I guess it's like a subtle reference. And I guess also at the very end, obviously we missed the post-credit scene, Sylvie is in Broxton, Oklahoma. And that ties into a Marvel Comics store storyline, which is, I guess, a pretty interesting one. It says episode 1 sees Sylvie exiting the Citadel at the end of time to Broxton, Oklahoma. At first, this may seem like an innocuous location, yet it has deeper comic book connections. Broxton is where Thor rebuilds Asgard after the events of Ragnarok. While the MCU depicted this differently in New Asgard being in Norway, Loki Season 2, Episode 1 end credit scene includes Broxton as a neat Easter egg to the Marvel Comics.
From what I got out of that post-credit scene was that Damian clearly knows something. He's a writer on the show because this dude was saying that this is going to connect to the Fox heroes. And only time we ever seen Cerebro be used was in Fox X-Men. And they provided some of the best scenes. One of my favorite scenes when they were in there and Charles Xavier cannot get out. And I think Jean Grey was like messing with the Cerebro and he tells him to wreak havoc. And he uses his ability and throws the ring of fire into Cerebro and literally destroys it. That's one of the best scenes ever with Cerebro.
Is that in the original one, or are you talking about the reboots?
I want to say that was in the newer one. I think it was in Days of Future Past. I want to say he literally just throws havoc into the Cerebro, breaks all the Cerebro, and it's crazy because
I thought that was, or is that when Apocalypse? Because remember,
Apocalypse. Yeah, you're right.
Remember he uses Cerebro to launch all the nukes.
Yeah, and it was crazy because like how much power Cerebro has. And the fact that I looked at it and I'm like, it's probably not Cerebro, but it reminded me. And then I see like the side by side, I'm like, bro, this literally is.
I mean, it's the same thing. Well, they'll say where the connection definitely makes sense. And like I said, the Cerebro thing, that's like one of the coolest scenes to me. Like, I mean, I know the X-Men movies, especially the newer ones, didn't get the greatest reviews, but when Apocalypse basically breaks into the X-Mansion, you see Cyclops' brother get killed, and obviously that's the scene you get with Quicksilver. I know a lot of people consider that one of the better scenes.
Yeah.
That's always like such a cool scene. Basically, Apocalypse gets into Xavier's head while he's in Cerebro and forces him to launch every single nuke in the world so that the humans have no ability to fight back. And it's just like a really, really cool scene. You can't really beat that, honestly. Like the just seeing it and like how like everybody's like watching from their homes as these nukes are really being launched into the air. They get blown up in space. So obviously, there's nothing's affected, but it is a really, really cool scene to see. And like I said, if that is a callback. And, maybe it does mean something for the future. I mean, we're going to get the X-Men eventually in the MCU. So even if it is a slight setup or a slight hint, it'd be really cool to see something like that.
I'm going to be different. I'm going to just say it was a door. A door with X on it. Right? Yeah. It had no connection to it. Sometimes we be, jumping the gun. It was just a door with X on it.
It just so happened to have an X on it.
Yeah, it just, it just had it. You know what I mean? The shot caught it, but it's cool. So.
Yeah, but you remember how like they had like the Infinity Stones like in this random desk, and it's like Cerebro doesn't mean nothing like to us. it's just a door to us, but like to other people it's it's everything. Yeah. So I guess it just depends who you're talking to, kind of thing. Like in this universe, like Infinity Stone paperweight. It's you could access all the minds of people in here. Oh, okay, and then and just close the door because they don't care about nothing because they don't know nothing.
But that's how it's gonna be with this Loki series. Like, so many Easter eggs and things that we might think is one thing was other. So
well, that was all of season 1.
that's all season 1.
Season 1, there were so many theories when they showed stuff, especially like when they went into like that other world with like the cloud monster and all that. They're like, oh well, there's an Avengers Tower back there and it says Kang on it, so Kang the Conqueror. And you know what I'm saying? There was so many different callbacks and so many different Easter eggs and stuff there that everybody thought was gonna be bigger down the line. But it's just not fan service, but just be like, hey, listen, if you pay enough attention, there's some cool stuff you could see.
And that's what I said when we were talking about Loki. As long as they close up, a majority of the points, I'm cool with. Do not give us 3 million theories to work on and 30,000 Easter eggs.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And then you give us season 3 in another year or two, and then just answer most of the points that we asking for, and I'm cool with the season. But to pivot into our next point, we have NFL season week 5.
Nice.
Do you really want to start?
You might as well say the best for last, or give them the worst news first.
We're gonna start off with Dame can enjoy his Sundays. So we're gonna start off with Dame. How did you feel about your team performance this past week?
It was a week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm never going to be mad over a win. I think a lot of people overanalyzed it. Tua, I guess, technically had his worst game. Did throw 2 pretty bad interceptions. But the defense looked good. I don't really know what we're going to do when Jalen Phillips comes back because Andrew Van Ginkel looks like the best pass rusher on our team. Yeah. Bradley Chubb's been on a milk carton since that Patriots game. I don't know what we do with Bradley Chubb. We paid him a lot of money to basically do nothing. He just gets killed every single time he rushes the passer. Never gets to the quarterback. Well, we got Andrew Van Ginkel doing that. I think Andrew Van Ginkel and Jalen Phillips are going to be our starters going forward. He could just be a rotational guy.
That makes sense. It sucks because
which sucks because we paid him all that money. We get a first round pick for it, but Bradley Chubb is just not showing me anything to be like, wow, we got to keep him on the field at all times. Yeah. But it was a good win.
Wait, somebody here bet him defensive player of the year?
Seriously, like, yo,
somebody did. Like if you go through my DraftKings, you'll definitely see it there.
And so, but it was cool. Jalen Phillips got his first, or not Jalen Phillips, Jalen Waddle, I should say, got his first touchdown of the year, and a lot of people were kind of panicking on him a little bit because he hasn't done much yet. But the biggest thing to come out of that game, unfortunately, is the Devon Achane injury. Yeah, he did go to IR, which hurts. He's a home run hitter. I feel like every time he touches the ball, he's eligible to go 75 yards for a touchdown. Yeah. It's going to suck, but the way I'm looking at it right now is that if Miami gets to these next few games, we got Panthers, Eagles, Patriots, Chiefs. We need to at least go 2-2 through those. 3-1 or 4-0 obviously is the goal. We're getting Jeff Wilson back. Mostert's been good. Yeah. Chris Brooks, Savannah Ahmed could fill in. But I'm really looking at the positive as, come November, we could be getting Teron Armstead, Jalen Ramsey, Devon Achane back, getting ready for the playoffs. Yeah. Which could be a big thing for us going forward. So it was okay. Like I said, definitely never complain about the win. I think we should have another one this week with the Panthers, but, any given Sunday. Yeah.
And Jules' team is the Browns, by the way. He had a stress-free week, You got the Niners coming up. Okay, everybody send a prayer out.
Yeah, send a prayer out. Actually, going to that game, fortunately, I'm just put it like this. We're going to get destroyed, to be honest. We're going to get destroyed. Watson's hurt.
Accidentally is crazy.
Watson's hurt, though. Run game's not looking great.
They said he didn't practice yet.
Yeah, he didn't practice. He's being very careful.
Is DTR about to start?
I got to watch a DTR start against the Niners. For some reason, the Niners come out, play like everything personal. They get mad at people. Got, fuck Dallas shirt. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get all that.
That was fire.
So if I see Brandon Ayuk pull out a fuck Cleveland shirt out of nowhere, like, I'm going to have a word for him because, like, why are you saying that about my team? I ain't do nothing for it. I ain't do nothing about that. But, when I'm looking at it, though, coming off a bye week, 2-2, I did expect 3-1. Obviously, I did expect us to beat the Steelers, and that did not happen. Ravens game was winnable, but DTR was in there. So, I can't really expect too much. This is a very inconsistent team, and playing against the best team, to me, right now in the NFL is just about to humble. It's about to really be humble out there, man. Tough, man. And it's some questions about Deshaun Watson. When you're like, are you going to come back when you feel, 75%? You got to be fully healthy plus some, It is what it is, though. Like I said, you guys know how I feel about Watson. Our return on interest right now is looking awful. And the Texans, who tanked, got their quarterback, and C.J. Stroud looks 100 times better than Deshaun Watson has at any point in his Cleveland tenure. So we'll see how it goes.
Whew. Oh, man. Yeah, we going to be coming on here every week doing this, man. My team. So, we 1-3. We just got smoked by the Cowboys, right? I'm thinking, okay, Saints and Raiders. We got a chance to, go back to 500. We don't even score oh, my God, bro.
It was like 3 points.
We got 34 zipped by the
2 weeks.
New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints. 34 zipped us. We're done. We're cooked. Remember, bro, we almost beat the Eagles, right? That's the highlight of the year right now. We almost beat the Eagles. We almost beat the Eagles. You go back to week 2, right? We had a great game against the Dolphins. That's going to be the highlight of our season because we are now on 1 against teams that we could beat. I mean, we beat the Jets, but, come on, Zach Wilson. That don't count. But we just lost 34-zip to the Saints. And now we got the Raiders next week. If we would have won these 2 games, we would have a whole different trajectory of the season. But we're done. We're cooked. Now, the only reason why, I'm not coming over here talking about tank for Caleb Williams is because the Bears got 2 picks. So it's probably quiet. He probably wouldn't want to play with us. Probably go back to college. But the only reason why I'm even a slightest bit of confident is because we go against Josh McDaniels. I don't know why. Bill Belichick against his old coaches, turned into a different demon. So even if we beat them, we got the Bills and Dolphins following that. You know what? I ain't even about to.
And it's in Miami, too, by the way.
And it's against 2. Then Josh Allen again. I don't know why Josh Allen gets the AFC East. It's just
it's literally the best. I
don't get it.
I need to speak on this because I'm sick of Josh Allen doing dirty things to my team and then going out and being average against everybody else.
I'm
sick of this.
Bro. The Bills have punted 3 times in the last 2 years against us. Come on. But you know what I mean?
Josh Allen had 5 touchdowns and 4 incompletions against the Dolphins. Was doing insane work to us, and then went out against the Jacksonville Jaguars and looked like a mid-tier quarterback. I'm sick of it.
It's like literally if it's not I would say it's not the Chiefs in the regular season or the AFC East, he is not gonna perform that good.
I don't
He's
get
just
it.
not gonna do it.
We need Jordan Whitehead on our team. That's what's gonna balance it. But man, we got the Raiders next week. I don't even know anymore, to be honest. Jacoby Myers about to come out there and give us 200 yards.
I'm betting 2 touchdowns.
I'm betting 2 touchdowns. He had 2 career touchdowns with us. He about to have 4 touchdowns this game. Devontae Adams is gonna kill. I don't even know who. J.C. Jackson. This.
You know what? And since we're speaking on football, man, I'm sorry to Damon, I feel bad for you, of course.
NBA season coming up though.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about the NBA, but nah, man, I gotta call out somebody specific.
Oh yeah.
I gotta call out somebody specific. This at the Big Yak podcast. I'm coming for you, Mike. You owe me money.
You owe me $1,000, bro.
We cooked up a crazy touchdown parlay.
Oh my God.
We would have made some money off this thing. And Mike said, "Oh, how about Nico Collins?"
First of all,
Nico Collins against Atlanta.
First of all, Nico of the Big Yak. For him to pick somebody with your name, you responsible too, bro. So this whole Nico thing, you're responsible too. Because Mike, we cooked up the best parlay possible.
But we had a 5-leg touchdown
believe
scorer.
I couldn't believe how easy it was. It was so easy.
And we literally had Gabe Davis hit, Montgomery hit, Achane hit, Brees Hall hit. We sitting there watching the Nico Collins game, wondering what is going to happen.
It's crazy because it was the slowest game in the 1 o'clock. It was like the third quarter. Everybody else in the fourth quarter. I'm just watching. I'm like,
yeah, he got to eventually get a red zone target, right? And then here comes Dalton Schultz.
But he had 0 targets in the fourth quarter. Yeah. And they were down all game.
Oh my dude. I was like, you're kidding me. I was like, we could have made some money off this thing. I could not believe it. And then on top of that, I shot myself in the foot. I said, let's go 2 touchdowns, Sam Laporta. Guess who didn't bet it? Damian didn't bet it.
Hey, throw Mike in jail, man. Throw him in jail.
Yeah, throw Mike in jail.
Throw him in jail.
Put Nico on stand.
I'm done. I'm done taking a betting advice. I'm done. Mike, I'm showing up outside your house later for my money.
So NFL start of the week. I think it's probably going to be an all offensive week. Yeah. There's no defense being played. The defense being played, but it's
tackle for 2-yard gain instead of 5-yard gain. Yeah.
So Dan, we'll start with you. Your NFL start of the week.
All right, man. I was stuck between a couple guys. I'm gonna go Jamar Chase. Shout out Jamar Chase. He won me my fantasy matchup this week. 15 catches, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's crazy. So we were ready for that to happen eventually. It was a slow start for the Bengals. They were playing the Cardinals, of course. It's not like they were playing anybody insane. But I'm definitely giving it to Jamar Chase. He basically had a pretty legendary performance. So
yeah. He said, I'm open. I'm always fucking open.
No,
and he went out there. That's really how I base my bets off of. Like, If you were a receiver, you go out and complain, I'm betting you. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what I did with AJ Brown. I did it with Jamar Chase. I'm doing it next week with this week with CeeDee Lamb. Because if you complain one time, you're gonna get the ball. But for my start of the week and going back to the parlay, Breece Hall, same Philly towards ACL on. The man went out there and he killed. He carried this team. He's the only offensive touchdown that they had, I'm pretty sure. This dude looked great. I mean, that burst of speed was not there in week 1. The week 1 burst of speed was not there. He got caught by the Bills. This week was different. Nobody was even close. Nobody was close. I think that the Jets, once again, they need to figure out this quarterback situation because, man, this team is really, 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 really good. I mean, like, come on. Like, Breece Hall, like, I can say without a doubt is a top 10 running back in the league. Garrett Wilson, I can say without a doubt, is a top 10 talent at wide receiver in the league. I can say this defense is a top 5 unit in the league. Unfortunately, though, they just don't have the quarterback play. So if you got a guy like this that can run for 180, 90 yards, against these bad defenses like this, I mean, you got to hope that he's going to have to carry the load against teams like the Bills, like the Dolphins, like the Patriots every time because these are teams that they struggle against year in, year out.
Mm-hmm. So my player of the week, I feel bad, y'all, because every week I feel like we be jinxing people on here. I gotta go DJ Moore, man. So we was just talking about how the Bears in this bad spot, and this terrible situation. we didn't even give y'all the preview for the Thursday night game. We all Commanders gonna beat them. And DJ Moore goes out there and have 8 catches for 230 yards, 3 touchdowns. So
we should have a 3 touchdown parlay.
So DJ Moore out there going crazy.
Hey, we did that. Hey. I ain't gonna lie, man. I wouldn't be here right now. I ain't gonna lie. I might be in the Bahamas, something. I ain't even here. I tell you that much.
Bro, DJ Moore had a touchdown. I think he caught the ball. I think it was on the sideline. He caught the ball. I think broke like a tackle or two and just ran straight. No other defender on the field. I'm thinking. I'm like, is it a dead play or something? Like he just running straight, going by himself.
That Commander's secondary is like,
what's going on?
That Commander secondary is looking.
The whole team is just
like. I mean, Sam Howell couldn't avoid a sack if his life depended on it. Manuel Forbes gets bullied every single time he steps on the football field.
Somebody I didn't understand going. I mean, this is the Washington Commanders though. They literally don't draft good in the first round. They just can't do it.
I like Forbes. I don't think it's Forbes' problem. I think Forbes is just in a bad situation. Forbes is just not a guy you could put on a big wide receiver and be like, hey, listen, you got to go handle that.
That is
He's
true.
6 foot, 180 pounds. He's not gonna body up AJ Brown. You can't afford to press AJ Brown.
Yeah, that was insane.
Not
putting him on Devontae Smith, who has the exact same frame as him.
That's what I'm saying.
And then put him on literally what they call him, not fat Batman. They call him Batman, right? Yeah. And like opposed to skinny Batman. Probably going with skinny Batman for the skinny cornerback instead of going AJ Brown, who literally might just push you out the way and run a streak.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened. I mean, Emmanuel Forbes is the kind of player he likes to attack the ball, and if he's guessing wrong, you don't want to guess wrong against a guy you already can't body up as it is. So you know what I'm saying. And then it's the same thing that happened. They had him on DJ Moore, and DJ Moore is just a bigger frame than him. So it's the same thing. And the Commanders have other corners. They could have easily just been like, hey, listen. Just put a bigger guy on him. Even if he's slower, like at least give him a chance. Yeah. Emmanuel Forbes is not going to body up your best wide receiver, especially not when he's got 30, 40 pounds on you.
Yeah, they trying to have him have that Sauce-esque season. Like,
chill.
Chill.
It's too late. You gave up more yards.
You gave up more
one
yards
game
already. Like, chill. Like, your man's is not in that division. Like, whereas Eagles, Cowboys, and then everybody else. Come on, man. You just throwing your man's out there for granted. He don't have help out there regardless. Like, he's gonna have to be their best player out there.
Yeah, so like I'm saying definitely on him, but like, like you guys, they pay all that money to Kendall Fuller to just play nickel. Like if you don't go out there and guard their best defender, their best offensive player,
then their D line is on paper it looks good, but doesn't
has yet to produce.
It was not existent.
The Matt ratings showed that they're good.
Yeah, Matt ratings. You know what I mean?
This ain't Madden though, because 2 years ago, I remember they were the number 1 defense off the board in fantasy drafts, and they were the 32nd. They finished 32nd. It looked like they're gonna finish bottom 5 once again because they just can't. They can't figure it out. Their secondary's bad. And linebackers, I mean, are linebackers at least. That's what they play, but I don't know how good they are. And the defensive line just is better than advertised. I mean, they're not better than
with the names they have. I think it's a scheme thing, man. I really do. I don't like Ron Rivera as a coach. And
when is he gonna get fired? I mean, like no disrespect to the man because he went through some stuff. He was fighting cancer, whatnot, and it was nice to have him around. Smart guy, but dude cannot coach in 2023. That's not what they need at all in any way.
And I feel like the team's really just getting let down by a scheme thing right now because the talent they have on defense, they should be a top 10 defense. Yep. They have the talent. That D line is unbelievable. You have all first round picks, like top 20 picks on that D line.
Yep.
That is, I think Montez Sweat might be the only one that wasn't. You got Frick.
He should have been.
I'm saying he was still crazy at Mississippi State. So you got what is it? It's Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Chase Young. Those guys are all top 18 picks. Yeah, which is insane to have. And you should be getting pressure on the ball. You should be stopping the run. You should be doing all that. And then you got a top linebacker pick. You had a guy you took in the second round last year, Jamin Davis.
I think he might be first.
Their safeties are crazy. They got Derek Forrest and Cameron Curl. Their safeties are nuts. But that cornerback group, I don't know if it's just like I said, if it's a scheme thing.
Definitely a scheme.
I don't know what it is, but man, the Commanders should be much better, and they look just as bad as their defense is equal to the Giants' offense.
Yeah. It's about dumpster fire.
Or New England offense. We ain't
going that low now. We ain't going that low now.
We ain't gonna go that far.
Which, man, I will say, too, I didn't realize how bad the Giants' offense was until they played Miami.
Bro, they're horrible.
Holy, wow. When I had to watch them for a whole 4 quarters, it is bad. And Miami's defense is not anything to write home about.
And I feel bad about Brian DuBois because, he's such a good coach. And it's you basically gave him Daniel Jones. You got Saquon on one leg. You have no receivers.
Well, then that was a big thing we talked about last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago. I was like,
are you not going to get a top receiver?
You get one chance to be a head coach in the NFL usually. Like I said, he worked his way up from all these other positions. And he went to Bama for a year, and he was with the Bills. Finally got a head coaching job, and he's gonna get screwed by the team that they gave him.
Yep. Sad. Hey, but the Commanders, back on the Commanders, they gonna look fire next year when they get Kyle Duggar and Josh Uche off the Patriots. Bill ain't gonna pay him.
For what?
So Bill ain't gonna pay. They free agents. Bill ain't gonna pay him. So they gonna have a better team next year. New coach. Probably Gerard Mayo gonna be Bill Belichick might be their coach. But
I thought you were about to say next week because we just slandered them, so they're definitely gonna win by 20.
I saw something where they said that Robert Kraft said that Bill Belichick is not unfireable.
He fireable. He real fireable right now.
They said Bill Belichick is not unfireable.
And what make it worse is that he's making a team that he can't coach up. So it's
because he does have personnel decision choices.
Yeah, he got.
But, their GM.
We gonna get into that when they 1-14.
Yeah.
Williams on the way.
So we could really use this now to pivot because there's some other teams we could talk about. Kyler Murray. What if it did? Let's just say Kyler Murray edition.
All right, so let's just say, right, the Cardinals, we're in week 5. What are they, 1-4?
1-4. 1-4.
Was it 1-4?
Yeah. Okay.
That's a lot of 1-4 teams. Right?
Say Kyle Murray comes back. We'll just throw out next week. So they win. Who they play this week?
They play. Let's see.
Kyle Murray is.
I know they play a very bad team schedule.
So let's just say they come out this week. And
they gave me the St. Louis Cardinals schedule, like they're playing their game tomorrow or something like that. They play the Rams this week.
They play the Rams. Okay, so divisional matchup. Okay, they lose. We just give them a loss. Okay, so 1-5. You get Kyle Murray back. Let's just say that Joshua Dobbs has a decent performance against the Rams. The Cardinals are competitive, and you get Kyle Murray back, who's ready to play. Do you go play Kyle Murray and do you say, okay, if Kyle Murray can give us 3-4 wins, we're out of the Caleb Williams spot, or do you sit him out longer and hope that the Bears and Panthers pick up? So let's just say with Kyle Murray, do you tank looking at the further schedule, or do you play him as Hope says he's your quarterback for the future?
I'll start it off, and I'll say, let's just say Kyler Murray does not start another game for the Cardinals this year. Let's just say Josh Dobbs has the start against the Rams, and they're cool with, being competitive, giving their fans a show. After they got the Seahawks, Ravens, Browns, Falcons, Texans. That Texans game is very huge because they have the Texans pick. The problem with this is that one win against the Cowboys that you did not need to have. And, obviously, we didn't see it coming that the Cowboys were going to lose to the Cardinals. But they did play a former Eagles defensive coordinator. They knew their scheme. They know them very, very well. They're in a situation where it's going to come down to December 24th. December 24th is the Bears. They play the Bears. That's going to be a huge game. That might decide the entire Caleb Williams situation. If Kyler Murray is eligible to come back next week, I would not start him another game because the franchise is already in a very, very bad spot. And it could be worse. There are worse franchises out there, but right now, when you have the franchise name, I would not risk any further injury or any chance where we can't have a solid team next year. Mm-hmm. So let's just say Kyler Murray comes back next year, I'd bench him. So what would you do based off benching him for the rest of the season?
I play him. You already got the one win. Like at this point, I would rather just hope the Texans play bad at that rate.
That's fair.
It's just you don't want to go out there and just be like, oh, we're tanking. I mean, obviously they should. I mean, Caleb Williams obviously is a generational prospect. Mm-hmm. That's a quarterback you want. But getting out of Kyler Murray's contract is going to be harder than anything else in the world right now. He's owed so much money, especially the next couple of years. Unless you find a team that's willing to pay him all that money, you're going to have to still pick up most of it.
Yeah, you probably have to play him.
You're going to
for
still
his value.
tank your team. Like no matter what you do, if you play Kyler Murray and you win a couple of games, then you're okay. You lose draft, you lose draft status. But if you don't play him and you're like, okay, we're just going to trade you, good luck. The money that he's owed, the contract that he signed is so ginormous that it's gonna hurt them no matter what they do. So I feel like at that point you already paid him, just play him.
Yeah, you probably would have to play him because I mean if you don't play him again, like his trade value's kind of right now. His contract.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
I mean, if we're going on, like I said, you got a mobile quarterback who's already really small, and he's shown to struggle throwing over the middle because he can't see. Yeah. And then you're going to be like, okay, well, here's your ACL that you just blew out. So now we got to see if you could even move the same way you did before. His trade value isn't there. So I was like, what are you going to do? Take a third-round pick for the guy and be like, okay, well, we're also going to pay you $70 million of that guaranteed money and hope you have fun somewhere else. Like, the Cardinals are in a bad spot regardless. A lot of people question when they paid him to begin with. Nobody saw the injury coming, obviously, but the injury makes it 10 times worse. For them.
And then it's a risk because if you don't play him, right, okay, trade value is going to be where it's at right now. But if you do play him, he could be awful. Like, the team's already going to be awful, and then you put him out there.
And there is two sides of the coin with that, where, like I said, he could come back and be, like I said, how you said, horrible. And now you're like, damn, well, now we really ain't getting enough for him. So now what do? Do you drive a quarterback and just let Kyler Murray be the most expensive backup in the world? Like, ever? Yeah. I mean, it's a tough situation to be in. But I feel like, if he's eligible to play, you just got to play him at this point. But at the same time, maybe... What is it, Jonathan Gannon? Maybe he just doesn't want to. I mean, this is the same thing the Cardinals went through when they hired Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah. Josh Rosen got that 1 year, and they were like, "Hey, listen, we're gonna take our guy. Yeah. We want Kyler Murray."
Okay, so let's just say Kyler Murray edition. Kyler Murray comes back, plays decent. What team in the NFL should trade for him? Give me 2 or 3 teams.
The Jets. That's the only team that needs to trade for him is the Jets. In my honest opinion. If you want to go to another team, the Broncos. Only 2 teams I would say that could possibly trade for him and do something decent with him. Other than that, he'd be in probably a bad situation no matter what. But basing on what you said, I wouldn't rely on the Texans to play bad. They're being a really competitive team, so I think their pick's gonna fall to the top 10 very soon. They're already at I think 10 right now, so I think they're gonna fall to the top 10. But the way I'm looking at it, I mean, if you got to trade him somewhere, I would be looking like I'll be staring at Jets right now. Like Kyler Murray, if you commit to playing this year, right now we'll trade for you. Like realistically, I would do that. Like honestly, I think he's capable of taking that team to the next level. But
what do you do with Aaron Rodgers?
So Aaron Rodgers, you have a speedy recovery. I hope you could walk another day in life, and you just score him out the door. I mean, like it sounds crazy, but like. There's a lot of similarities in Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers. The gunslinger mentality, the touch passes, the scramble outside the pocket, throwing a run, all that kind of stuff. They kind of do the same thing. So I think he actually fits very, very well in that Jets offense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough situation. Those are probably the Broncos and the Jets probably are the only ones that make sense because like you said, if he goes, what are you going to do, trade him to the Titans? Or, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Are you going to trade him to... I mean, like I know the Vikings are about to hit the reset button, but the Vikings might have well tanked for one of the top quarterbacks at that rate. If Justin Jefferson's really not going to play for any time soon, Kirk Cousins might waive his trade option or something like that. You know, his trade clause. So I mean, I just don't know what team would want to pay him, man. Like that contract is ugly.
It is very ugly.
Okay, so let's just say that Kyler Murray comes back and
Wins comeback player of the year.
Let's say he come back and play, better than expected. And you get the 4th, 5th pick in the draft. Do you still try to go quarterback with the assets you have, or do you keep Kyler Murray and build?
You go right around and you build around him. You already got Paris Johnson.
Yeah, I would do my absolute best to actually trade up and get Marvin Harrison Jr. No matter what. I think that wide receiver core is very iffy, and if you add Marvin Harrison Jr., it looks like a top 10 wide receiver core, like automatically.
And Marquise Brown has been surprisingly good with the fact that Josh Dobbs is his quarterback. Not slighting Josh Dobbs in the slightest, but Marquise Brown struggled a little bit last year. He was hurt. He's looked the part of a wide receiver for that offense at least right now. But I do think you try to just get the best possible weapons you can for Kyler Murray again. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins had some good years with him. Obviously they didn't result in much. But you definitely try to get, build up that offensive line, maybe a little bit build up, get him Marvin Harrison Jr. or Abuka, and, that defense is really where they got to start building on.
I agree, yep.
So besides, I believe, Trey Lance is on the Cowboys. So, and Jaguars is kind of iffy. So, I want to kind of pivot to something different. So, let's do the same game. Let's just say, with the 2021 quarterbacks, fifth-year options is coming up from Trevor Lawrence to Mac Jones. Rank them. Which guy has the best chance after this year to still be in the NFL, or what positions or what teams do you think they could still be on?
Trevor Lawrence.
I'll say Trevor Lawrence is a lock to stay.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is a lock to stay.
He does just enough, to be low key and nobody ever questions him. So I mean, he's good. As much as a generational talent he was deemed to be, he's doing enough to stay out the spotlight. So I'll put Trevor Lawrence at 1.
Justin Fields, I'm not gonna put. So obviously Trevor Lance is gonna be number 5. He's a backup already.
Yeah.
I'd probably put Mac Jones. I think has shown enough in his career to be at least a career backup. If he doesn't get a starting job somewhere else, he could at least play backup in the NFL.
I'm trying to think.
Zach Wilson and Justin Fields is where it gets a little iffy, because I still don't. Even if Justin Fields plays the rest of this year and he plays the way he has the last 2 weeks, I still don't think the Bears pass on Caleb Williams.
No shot.
I really don't. Even if, like I said, because they could still get Caleb Williams with the Panthers pick. So even if the Bears end up being good, or at least like they don't get the first overall pick with their pick, they have the Panthers pick. Yeah. So the Panthers aren't going to win many games this year. They might not win any. Exactly. So with the way it's going right now, I would say Trevor Lawrence is the only lock. I'd probably go Trevor Lawrence 1, Justin Fields 2, but he'll end up on another team. He won't
get his accepted and then move.
Yeah,
because that's a little easier to move.
That's what I'm saying. They'll accept the option. They'll trade him to whoever the highest bidder is, and then it'll probably go Mac Jones 3, Zach Wilson 4, and Trey Lance 5.
Before we keep going, all right, I got a hypothetical because somebody said it on Facebook. I want to give a shout out to Sherrod. He gave this option to me. Let's just say Kyler Murray leaves and goes to MLB. He's done playing. He's done playing football altogether. He goes play a safer sport and goes to MLB.
That's crazy.
Bye.
That'd be
why would I care? Bye. I mean, like he's not really moving the needle.
That's what I'm like. He has another whole stream of income right there. Like
he could go there. Like it'd be cool to see.
I don't want to go to. I want to go to Las Vegas. I don't want to go to Denver. I don't want to go to New York. I'm gonna go play baseball. Simple as that.
Maybe 2 years ago I'd have been moved by it.
He never signed that deal.
Okay.
He could just re-enter the MLB draft.
Okay. That makes sense.
Like 2 years ago I'd have been moved by it, but now, I mean,
it's crazy how much of a storyline that was, and now it's like,
it is what it is. Russell Wilson, probably should do the same thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, I just wonder how. I mean, like I know he was a pretty high pick, but baseball's just so weird, man. Like he'd be in that system for a long time before we probably saw.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In a Major League Baseball uniform, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because all these prospects it was like the most prospects ever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was
like
in the top 100.
And you really ain't making that much money in the minors. You know what I'm saying? Not NFL life changing money like how he's got right now. But I mean, that definitely is a crazy hypothetical. I mean, if he was to do something, I mean, it would shock the sports world.
Yeah, that's what
they were like, like he's why that's kind of be like when Bo Jackson got drafted and walked away and was like, well, I'm gonna go play baseball.
Yeah,
and then came back later.
I was just thinking the same. Like where he'll make his money in the endorsements.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bo Jackson probably made more money in his endorsements because he was that dual sport athlete thing. Like he was everywhere. Like Bo knows there was the commercials and all that merchandising and stuff. So. And does he need the money? Maybe he just wants to accomplish something. So give him I'd be excited to see it.
What Kyler Murray did. Like nobody can say I've been a top 5 pick in the NFL and MLB.
But he'd make a ton of money just in endorsements.
Yep. Yeah.
Like you think commercials and people changing what kind of cars they drive and it'll just all be like I used to drive a gas car, now I drive a electric vehicle. Like I made a change too. Like it'll be all like there'll be tons of people that will make him a big celebrity. He'll make a ton of money just on endorsements, and he could do that for years to come.
Yeah,
so it's not the worst idea.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. That's why I think it's possible. Why would I go play at MetLife and tear my ACL once again? Like, nah, I'm good. I'll stay. I'll go a bit.
You're playing dirt.
Yeah, playing some mud.
Playing some dirt. So now we're gonna pivot into GenV. So last week I didn't know what they was talking about. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, you know what? Let me lock in. So I watched every episode, and now I'm officially caught up. So ending of the last episode, end of the last episode, we had Marie. It was random. We had Marie and Jordan laid up at the end, but it was a blacked out scene. So I don't even know. I'm gonna start with y'all because I got a theory in my head, But what y'all think happened? How did Marie? I don't know. I don't even know if Jordan blacked out, but how did Marie black out?
I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna say what I said last week. I don't trust Kate. If I have mind control powers, I am going to do whatever I want. And they obviously showed that flashback scene for a reason with Sam and Golden Boy, and that the fact Sam and Golden Boy having their moment, and then Sam spazzes out because he's fucked up. And she touches him, and he goes to sleep. And then during the scene at the end, and they're in the house, said, "You're not gonna make me go to sleep again, or you're not gonna make me pass out, whatever the case may be." Because he knows that if she makes him pass out, he does not know what those people are going to do to him. Because he's gonna wake up and not know what happened. Because she knocked him out, she put him to sleep. He's fucked up. Like, he doesn't know why, but they have this girl probably knocking these people out, but by touch, and it's so little for her, but it does extort a lot of energy out of her. I mean, it literally is almost killing her to do.
That's the reason why I don't think it's Kate. I do think this is a Sam thing. They talk about it throughout the whole episode. Sam is more powerful than his brother. If Golden Boy was put up there with Homelander as one of the most powerful supes ever made, and now they're saying that Sam is way more powerful than Golden Boy ever was. What if Sam is one of the first supes to have multiple different powers?
Yeah, because they did say that he jumps like Queen Maeve.
I say he jumped like Queen Maeve, and
he
he's
has
clearly
strength like a motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. He's literally punching dents in metal walls, thick metal walls. Like, I mean, he's clearly strong. He's got the jumping ability. And what if he's just got telekinetic powers as well? I mean, we don't know yet. He's clearly got severe mental issues. What if that's a mental manifestation of his telekinetic powers? I think it's a red herring because so you get that blonde guy was like Ralph or whatever, and she blew his dick up, right? And everybody's like, okay, well he made Marie pass out. I think that's a red herring. I think they want you to think that he was one of the ones that did that to them. I don't think he had anything to do with it. I do think it was Sam. I think Sam's gonna be a soup where you realize that the reason he's so powerful is because they might have injected him with multiple different hero powers. He's got a power from each hero or something like that. Where
see how much he can handle.
Exactly, see, to test the human body to see,
yeah.
and that's why he's so fucked up mentally.
Yeah.
To where what I'm saying, because her and Jordan Lee were hooking up. Then it was like, okay, we're leaving. They go to help Sam, and then they black out, and then it's like they hooked up, and nothing else happened. And then you watch the preview after, and everybody's like, well, okay, now they're all starting to recognize it. That they blacked out. But like I said, what you said at the end about your thing is the only reason I don't think it's Kate is that she was really hurt over like two officers. Yeah. She made two officers do that and she passed out. Yeah. If she's doing that to the whole group, she'd be dead. That's the only thing that I think. That's the only thing that I why I'm like, Kate could end up being a bad person still. I'm not knocking that out because Kate,
even if she started off bad, and doing certain things, and she did that, and then like she finally realized like, all right, I can't be doing this because it is literally killing me. Like, exactly. So I have to make a decision.
So I do think we're definitely gonna get a reveal where like we find out just how much power Sam has, and it's gonna be a complete revelation for the show.
Yeah. See, that's a good point. I think it's Kate though, and this is why, because in the episode they talk about how much sacrifice Kate made for Golden Boy. Basically, not a sacrifice is for nothing. So I could see like why that would shift her mindset and becoming a bad person. And if you go through the characters, we've seen like different portions of their powers. Like we've seen their strengths, like their highs, and we've seen some of their lows of their powers. Kate is the only one where we've just seen her. I mean, yeah, she passed out with the two people, but that could have been for a show. That could have been.
That's what I was thinking. That she could have been for a show.
True, like for a show, or she could have been doing that because it's been a long, day for her, I'm stuff hungry. Like that. So that's what I'm saying. Is like, as much as they're saying how powerful she could have been, she could be in the top 5 easily.
Yeah,
and
they said that she pivoted from crime fighting.
To help Golden Boy out, and now Golden Boy is dead. So it's like if she's that powerful, I don't think that her mind controlling 2 officers will make her pass out. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
It could be more to her powers than just her touching people too.
Yeah, it could be something. It's something more than that.
That she can do, and like what she did with the officers was way different than just touching them, and like she literally mind controlled. Like,
made them do a bunch of
like literally stuff, like got into his mind.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. I feel like it was Kate, especially after the interview and we found out like the sacrifice she made for Golden Boy. Now that Golden Boy's dead. It's like, it's a power that we have. Like even with Emma was being shrunken the whole series, and then last episode she's tall again.
And I do think that's pretty cool to see that too, where you see there's more to her powers than just shrink.
Yeah, like we've seen the different aspects with each character, and Kate's is like we just haven't seen. Like we know the potential that she has, we just really hasn't seen it yet. So that would be my guess. But again, you made good points about Sam. It's just I don't know.
We only got 4 episodes left.
Then again, Sam. Then again, you know, Sam probably could have heard that Marie was the one that got all the credit for not killing Golden Boy, but like, you know, stopping him. So maybe Sam did something to her, and maybe the rest of the group.
That could be a thing that Sam found out, or Sam got a feeling, you know, that Marie didn't take credit for that because she is taking credit for that. Mm-hmm. But she did kind of redeem herself and, you know, come out and say, like, Jordan Lee helped me. I would not be here if Jordan Lee didn't you know, fight him off. So it is a lot of things going on. A lot of, like I said, that preview to the next however many episodes. I don't know if that's just a preview for the next episode or just the next half of the season. Because the last preview was way more than just the last episode we've seen. But, you know, those gloves that Kate is wearing might be kind of leaning towards your point that, like, she is trying to be a good person. She wears those gloves to not, you know, if I touch you, then I don't want to make you, you know, say, you know, because she has to have her bare hand, you know, touching you. Yeah. It is a pretty good point, but also want to mention, like, why is all our favorite characters Jordan Lee? Like, ain't that crazy? Like,
right.
Well, you know, and I want to say too. So that goes, and Jordan Lee once again shows that she is more power. So there's more to her power than just gender swapping. Once again, you see that she used an energy blast when she hit Sam and blasted him through the window.
Oh my god!
So he said, "There, I want to. Who is she?
Yeah, what's going on?
What more to her powers it is because it didn't look like she hit him. It looks like when she pulled her hand out, it's an energy blast. Like, it doesn't look like she's physically hitting him. Yeah. And we see it again. It kind of looks like a rainbow light kind of thing when she hits him. So we definitely show that more. And Jordan definitely continues to get probably the best character development on any character.
Easily.
They're definitely pivoting towards making her just as important as anybody else. That's why, like, it's hard to even know. Like, it's hard to guess where the show is going to end up because every episode feels like there's a character that's getting more shine than the other. And then
this is a huge episode for Sam and Emma. It was a huge episode.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's really cool. But you know what? I feel like that they're setting that up for that to not be a happy ending. The Boys doesn't get happy endings.
That's what I'm about to say. I think
the Boys doesn't get happy endings, so that makes me think that something that's going to happen to Sam or something happen to Emma. It's just not one of those things where they get what they want in the end. And but I am really excited to see how the show's gonna end. They got that puppet scene that was shown in the thing. That's gonna be insane. Where you're basically gonna be Sam ripping people apart, but as puppets, which is, you know, like, and you know, he was talking about, what was it, Jason Ritter in The Deep, that were the puppets in the in this episode.
That was a pretty crazy scene.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like I said, for his mental health. That's why I'm so thinking that Sam has more powers than just what's it called, because no other hero has these severe mental issues like that we've seen.
But we know what his last power is gonna be if he has all the powers. Laser sight.
Yeah,
it's gonna be laser sight because that's gonna
see,
like,
he's homeland. Well, like, let's say, like, what if? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, with the multiple powers, like, what if they're injecting him with, like, DNA of all the 7?
Yeah, that's
or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, Queen Maeve. Obviously, the super strength has to do with all of them.
Nah, say everybody's the super strength. I would say, like, we could eventually see that maybe he has like the healing ability like Black Noir, or he probably wouldn't be as fast as A-Train, but maybe enhanced speed. You know what I'm saying? Or if he ends up having laser sight or something like that, then. You can see, you saw how many experiments they were doing on him while he was in the woods. They show you that. Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking that there's gonna be some big revelation. And then you heard what they said too about the woods. Like, you know, if that gets out, that's a disaster for everybody. And there's gonna be hell to pay. So there's got to be something more to that.
Yeah, that's.
I'm wondering if he has the ability to absorb powers.
Yeah, see, that's another good
could
one.
Also be a thing.
Like, that's why they lock him away, because they're afraid he's.
Because if he's near another hero, he can just take whatever power they got.
He absorbs their powers, so like they don't want him like, you know, getting too powerful, because then they can't control him. So they keep.
That's kind of like there's a DC
like that was something like they shot him with something and whatever the stuff, and then he's got that.
That could be why they separated the brothers. Because Golden Boy is like at the top. You can't take all Golden Boy's shine. Golden Boy is
Emma's the character I love the most, though.
I love Emma too.
Emma's her character is really. Just so, I think her character is just so current about everything going on in the world with people, younger people, and I just think her character is great. And her trying to be like a good person. Like, we need like some of the people on the show to be good people.
Right, they can't all be bad.
Because eventually some of them are gonna end up having to fight against the boys or team up with the boys or something. We're gonna definitely get overlaps.
Yeah, no, and you know, it's actually really cool now you bring up the Azor power thing, because there is a character in the DC universe that does that, and that's Amazo. He was created as like a cyborg, but any time he fights a hero, he can steal their power. Right. You know, he fights Superman, he can steal his strength, steal his laser sight. They fight him in the Injustice animated movie. They fight Amazo, and he steals all their powers. It makes it almost impossible to stop him.
And I think
so that is a really cool theory too.
Can do that too.
Yeah, so that's a really cool theory. Honestly, that's not something I would have.
Because in Days of Future Past, wasn't what's her face? Don't they bring in Rogue or something to like? I forget. There's definitely
No,
a couple
Rogue. I'm sorry,
mutants.
Rogue
The
does
way
that.
in the way they do Days of Future
That one, yeah,
Past.
Rogue. Yeah, okay, Rogue
Rogue
would be the
does
one that does
Rogue
it.
can do
Steals
that
powers.
or something. So like that's definitely a power that's out there in the superhero,
In the world, right?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, Gen V is definitely got a lot going on. That's gonna really preoccupy us along with Loki for the next 4 weeks, basically.
It sucks because I really
The
wish
next
we could do
month.
live reacts to that. Cause
No, for sure.
The action in that is just
It's
way
crazy.
way too good.
So we do actually have a really, really good movie coming out next week that we want to touch on. This is a movie that me and Jules have been talking about for a few months now. Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes, man, I can't wait.
This is getting hyped up as okay. So first of all, it's a Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio film. You don't need to know much more than that. In all honesty, when they get together, they make magic. That is just what it is. But this one is being touted as the best of their what's that word? When they're working together.
Collaboration.
Yes, collaboration.
97% Rotten Tomatoes. And
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
9
they
out of
do.
10.
For a 3.5 hour movie, by the way.
3.5 hour movie. Whew.
So, what are you thinking, Jules? Should we? So, first of all, Damon hasn't seen the trailer, and you know how much I hype up this damn trailer.
Can we use this TV to play the trailer, Maranto? Yep. Yeah. Okay. I just want to turn this trailer on for because from what I got of it, it's very dark. All right. Well, I've said this.
And it's based on a book.
Yeah, it's based on a book. It's one of the movies I've been looking at for a while now because when I first found out about it, I was like completely stunned and shocked that they would come out with a movie like this. I wouldn't say so late, but like just so like
For something
timing,
that yeah,
like I would have never guessed it would come out. But October is a time for something like this for indigenous people to come out.
obviously indigenous people, they just passed, and this is obviously a big thing where this is gonna play into that stuff where I mean, they tell you in the trailer, Native American people had the land, and the white people came in and they said, "Hey, listen, you got money on that land, we want it," and that is basically
it is so deeper than just
then
like,
obviously there's more to that's
take
just
it from
surface
you.
level, but
It's like literally bringing people to their death, and it's a scary thing because this is as as 99% true as something can get. Like a lot of this stuff did happen, and Leonardo DiCaprio's character, I was a little bit confused about it because I didn't know too much about it. But the more trailers are coming out, you're obviously seeing that he wants to protect this woman because he's in love with her.
it seems like he's a detective.
Yeah.
He's investigating whatever murders are going on, falls in love with her, and he's like, okay, well, I'm not going to fight for the white people that are coming for your land. I'm going to protect you and your people.
Yeah.
And they end up having a baby and all that. And what I love about this is they cast an actual woman that is a part of this Native American group.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have acting credits. Like this is like her first major role.
That's what I was.
And
like
she's being considered an Oscar favorite. Like I mean, this is not some random person. She's gonna have I hope this is the one with the song.
I don't know if it's the most recent one, then probably.
Oh, that's a teaser.
Yeah.
I'll keep looking.
No, you're good. I think this one is the one. With
So it's based on a true
Yes,
events.
it is.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, this is stuff that just happened. Like, I don't know if the exact story is a true event, but this is stuff that happened all the time early on in the early 1900s, late 1800s.
Oh, okay.
So that's the. It might be that one right there.
Yeah, that official trailer.
Yep.
You got nice color skin. What color would you say that is? My color.
The song gets me going every single time.
They have the worst land possible. But they outsmarted everybody. The land had oil on it. Black gold. Money flows freely here now. I do love that money, sir. This wealth should come to us. Their time is over. This will be another tragedy.
Oh shit.
When this money started coming, we should have known it came with something else. They're like buzzards circling our people. We're still warriors.
Damn.
I ought to kill these white men who killed my family.
see about these murders.
See, what about him?
See who's doing it. Expecting a miracle to make all this go away. You know they don't happen anymore.
So it seemed like he like torn between.
So you know, and honestly, I didn't really pay attention to it because it does seem like he's kind of getting interrogated by. I can blanking on the actor's name right now, the older one. But I'm almost kind of wondering if it's like an infiltration. Robert De Niro. Thank you. And I almost kind of wonder if it's like an infiltration thing where he was like, "Hey, listen, you got to go in there and get close to her, because her family's got money on land."
Yeah.
And then it ends up becoming a thing where
he doesn't even want to.
That's what I'm saying, because I originally I thought it was just like he fell in love with it, but now I'm wondering if, because he's telling me, you know, you got to take our land back and stuff like that, where it's like he is going in there to infiltrate their family and, you know, get that money, but then it's like, mate, I actually love this woman. You know, I can't just do that. You know what I'm saying? And for this to be considered like their best movie, you know, everybody's giving this. Leo's already getting Oscar hype. They're getting a bunch of Oscar hype for this movie, and Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio have made Gangs of New York. They made The Aviator. They made The Departed, Shutter Island, and then The Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, for this to be considered their best movie yet, and when you got other of those movies being involved in the mix, that says something about this movie.
Yeah, man, they got a cast on him for sure. And you seen Jesse Plemons, one of the most unlikable guys. There's no way in hell he's gonna be a decent person.
Yeah, he's literally a bad person in every single role.
He's been a villain all of my life, from Like Mike to Breaking Bad to now this. And they also got Brandon Fraser in there.
Brandon Fraser is really cool to see his resurgence continue to grow as, you know, obviously after he won in the Oscar for The Whale. Yeah, so it's really cool to see him continue to be a part of
They
it.
missing one actor. They had one more actor in there. I'll say 10 out of 10, but you got to. I mean, I'm just saying, like, yeah, like, I can't act, bro. I know I can act. I'll be on there.
I'm about to read the book before I see the movie.
I know, right? I want to read something.
I think I'm about to read the book.
Some crazy backstory to it. But like you said, 97% from Rotten Tomatoes. That's probably gonna uphold at least over 95%. I'm assuming 3.5 hour movie though. If that's getting a 97% out of 3.5 hours, I mean, people cannot put it aside.
Yeah,
I can't even
anything. I can't even be surprised though. Oppenheimer was highly touted. And that was a 3-hour movie. Yeah, it was an extra 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm excited about for this movie is I like the fact that it's, you know, you see movies like this sometimes, and then, you know, like think of like Dances with Wolves. And obviously there's African American, Native American actors in there. Yeah. But like not a lot, and it's still like the main character's still like characters are still white guys, white women. Where this film is like heavily gonna create like a lot of opportunities for Native American actors.
That's exactly,
and that's an area like that in this country we still haven't gotten too well. I
Absolutely.
mean, there's a lot of minority casting now, but Native Americans still struggle, and I just love the fact that we're getting this. And if you just look at that cast list on IMDb, like, it's just a ton of Native Americans.
And that was what I was talking about when you went upstairs to grab your laptop. Was like I said, the one that's going to play the main character, the woman, is Lily Gladstone, and she has no acting credits outside of this film. This is going to be her big one, and you know, for her first major film to be something like this, where it's getting this praise already. That just
was just a silly meme though. Like, they just ripped off the Avatar. He's like infiltrating. He's just like, no, Avatar ripped off everything. Yeah. But I mean, on a serious side, like, yeah, I think this movie and Oppenheimer, they're going to be the two fighting out for all the Oscars. They're just going to win everything. These two movies.
Honestly,
yeah, I do think Oppenheimer, Kill the Flower Moon will probably end up sweeping the Oscars pretty heavily next year.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to tap in.
It looks great, man. I'm not gonna lie. That song, like,
the
whole score is probably gonna be insane.
I literally had that song on my phone, man, because that score gets me lit every single time. I love that.
I love a good score.
The music soundtrack is really.
I love scores. Like the Oppenheimer score is really great. This score looks like it's really good.
Ever since we started this podcast, I say that every time we see a movie. I'm like, bro, I am just such a big music person when it comes to soundtracks. If you got a good score in the movie, that's automatically going to give me something to work with.
Yep.
So, do anybody got anything else?
Let me close the show this time.
Hold on.
Lock in.
All right, gotcha. Damon usually in this spot, you know, telling y'all some really good life advice. Let me close. I don't think I'm reading off the script right now. All right. In life, man, just be humble, man. You know, we talked about this. We talked about this before, though. Humble beginnings. We've been, you know, editing off a phone, recording off a phone, mic plugged into a phone type. That's where we started at, and now that we're here and doing this, like, this could always be taken away. So every day, I'm always grateful. I always look forward to recording. I always look forward to everything that we're doing here. But that's what everything in life, man. You're not judged on the people that you treat above you, judged on people that you treat below you. The people that don't have as much, because everything can be taken away from you. All because you don't think it can be you, it can be you, and it might be you one day. So just put yourself in people's shoes. Understand that we are on a beautiful journey right now, but we have to be grateful for every single step that we take. Don't take one step for granted, because one day, like I said, one day might not be there. So I just like to think that if we're humble and we consider the fact that we worked hard to get here, and we're gonna keep working hard to stay here and elevate, that's all that matters.
Oh my, this might be his permanent spot, y'all. This might be his permanent spot. Just appreciate what you got, man. Like, you ain't gotta flex on people. You ain't gotta, put people beneath you. Any given, they probably working just as hard as you, probably harder than you. And, given situations and given circumstances, they can't, have the success you had. So just be humble and live your life, man. You ain't gotta beat on nobody else.
And that really goes into what the people we play 2K with. If you lucky enough to run with us three, be humble about it.
Yeah, be humble.
Because I'm sick of asking for runs and getting disappointed.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kai, because the Kai made my night last night because he was actually good at the game. So
who not good at the game though? Hold on. Who not good at the game?
Anti-thoughts.
Oh.
Misfit.
Oh. You name dropping the whole clan. But appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you guys for the support again, like I said, on all social media platforms. You guys for sharing our messages out there. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see you guys for the Loki episode 2 watch party. And if you guys don't tune into that, then we'll see y'all next week.